Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Duck here once again. Now, somebody said this on Twitter that they would like to see this, so I figured I'd do it. This is going to be my, just first impressions of Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii. It just came out today in Europe. I'm sure you all know about the commotion with Nintendo America not publishing it and shit, but it's here in Europe, and I'm just going to give you my first impressions. So yeah, first impressions, guys. Really, really good. Let me turn this down. Maybe a wee bit too loud. But yeah, seriously guys, I mean, I knew this game was going to be, like, really... One of the big selling points to it was its, you know, epic scale. And it's just so... I'll get into that in a minute, right? One of the first things that caught my eye was when I went to the options menu and there was actually a Japanese dub optional. And that really shocks me. It's, you know, Nintendo, I could have sworn they didn't really like doing stuff like that, you know. There are a lot of companies out there that like doing a little Japanese dub for the sake of people that might not like the English voice acting and stuff. But Nintendo was never a company to do that. But it is in here, and I'm playing it in Japanese, and the English voice acting is less than perfect from what I've seen. But the option is there, which, you know, is pretty awesome. One thing I really want to say though is that so far the game is just really streamlined, you know, for a Japanese RPG. Things like side quests, level grinding and stuff, it's all really simplified. They've taken away all the unnecessary crap and stripped it down to its core, so it's all just really easy to do. Let me give you a wee example, right? You've got a really helpful radar, for starters, you know, just a map. Most RPGs you barely get a map screen. And it tells you where everything is, and it'll tell you exactly when someone, say, needs a side quest. And you just go up and you talk to them. And the second that you meet those requirements for that side quest, a wee message pops up saying you've completed it, and you get your reward instantly. You don't have to backtrack and get it. It's all just... it's streamlined. It feels really modernized. It feels like something that wouldn't age well. By default, most Japanese RPGs I've played in this generation usually have a sense of, you know, aging. A sense of continuing on, like, Japanese RPGs of old. For better or for worse. You know, it kept things... I'm not explaining it that well. Okay. It takes on after the Japanese games of old, but it brought with it its flaws. And those flaws were just things like, you know, backtracking and not feeling very streamlined. Well, Xenoblade Chronicles does this, okay? It's just, the bottom line is it's a very modern feeling Japanese RPG, you know. It's really going to open up a new audience, I think. You know, if you didn't like Japanese RPGs from the start, it's like you should definitely give this a try. And what was the other thing? It actually feels more like, I'm not saying it feels more like a Western RPG, but it's brought along the sort of like good points of Western RPGs, i.e. streamlining, a better interface when fighting and more visual feedback, but it's just Japanese, you know. But yeah, it's kind of hard to put into words since I'm putting it on a whim, but the game definitely feels different compared to other JRPGs. It feels modern. It feels like the developers really knew what they were doing, and they knew how to, like, tack into people who have never played JRPGs before. Square, when you're making Final Fantasy 13 too, okay? Take notes from this game, okay? Yeah, what else was I saying? I guess I'll talk a bit about the scale, you know. The scale was really... it caught me by surprise, like, I really don't think I'm playing a Wii game when I play this game, you know. I just remember I was in the town, right? The very first town you are in the game. And in the distance you could see all the landscape and that. Speaking of which, when you're playing this game, just, like, look up, you know? Just tilt the analog stick up and look into the sky. You'll always find something epic to look at. And it's a shame that the cameras are, like, always looking down on your character, because when you're looking up, it's just amazing. But yeah, I was in the town, and, like, the landscape was in the distance. It just looks so good. And you can actually jump off the city and into the water below you. When I fell into the water, I thought, oh fuck, have I died? But I didn't die. You could have swam right over there and just explored the landscape to your heart's content. You know, it's just really immersive. You know, it feels... You don't get, again, you don't really get that a lot of JRPGs. It's mostly Western RPGs, like a la Fallout, where you could explore absolutely everything, that you get this sort of feeling. But yeah, and the fact that it's being done on the Wii of all consoles, it's just so... wow, you know. Yes, but, anything else worth talking about? The music's good, I'm enjoying it, and the story so far is pretty intriguing. It's got a really good title screen. Apart from that, I can't think of anything else to really comment on. That's pretty much all I've got to say. I've only played about 2.5 hours or so. I think I'm up to like the sort of first dungeon, where Shulk and Rain, and you've just met up with Fiora. I hope I'm saying their names right, and the three of them are all together for the first time, and you're just about to go in. So I'm definitely only dipped my toe into what this game has to offer, but I'm definitely loving it, and I cannot wait. And for you guys in the States, you know, I've got some good news. The game is actually sold out in Europe. And Nintendo of America, Reggie specifically said that they were going to be watching the sales figures, you know. And that would sort of give them a wee... That would sort of like make them feel a bit more confident about releasing the game in America, you know. And the fact that the game is sold out, okay, if that's not an indication that they're going to bring it out after saying something like that, then I don't know what is. So, I think you guys can look forward to this. And look forward to it, you should, because it's amazing. But, yeah. That's pretty much it anyway, guys. I'm going to go back to play this a bit more before I go to work. But, yeah. If you haven't already gotten this, you live in Europe, go for it, seriously. See you after, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.